going. It says pause or stop recording. So.
Can you hear us, Russ?
I can hear you fine.
I'm not hearing you though.
My mic's on.
No?
Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now?
Oh, really?
Can you hear me now?
Volume up on the box. Volume up on the oh, down below the sound system.
Is there any way for one of us to log on with our cell phones and see if it's not our system? It
Can you
might
hear
be
me
the
now?
other end of the meter. There he is. He's talking now.
Yeah, but we're not just talking. We just can't hear him.
Something's, he doesn't think he's muted.
Can't let me go either. Well, no, yeah.
Can you hear?
I have to send it to you.
Can you hear me now?
Not likely.
There we go.
There we go.
Russ,
I can hear you. Okay.
Okay.
How's my voice?
Really, let's see. Again.
We are recording.
Okay. I call the meeting to order at 5:35 p.m. on November 6th. The first order of business is the approval of the minutes of October 30th, 2024. Can I have a motion to approve? The
motion to
minutes?
approve.
Second.
All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Excellent. All right, we're going to enter our hearing phase. We have a number of hearings tonight. The first one is the Russo. That's you? Would you like to come up here?
Sure.
So that our assessor can hear you?
Okay.
So see, these mics are not to make your voice louder in the room, but for Zoom, so he can hear you and you can hear him.
Okay, so
Before you say anything, the first order of business is we need to swear you and the assessor in, so please raise your right hand. Under the pains and penalties of perjury, do you solemnly swear that the evidence you give in the cause under consideration shall be the whole truth and nothing but the truth?
yes.
Okay.
I do.
All right, so the way it's going to work, the assessor is going to do a brief presentation of your property, which is basically where the property is and what its value is, then you're gonna present your case. Then the assessor is gonna talk about what he heard and what his case may be. And that's how we'll start the process.
John.
Sounds good.
conflicts?
Oh, sorry, thank you.
None.
Do the Board of Civil Authority have any conflicts or ex parte communications with the appellant?
There you go.
No.
All right, hearing none. Thank you. All right, Russ, would you like to briefly describe the property and the valuation that you arrived at?
Okay, so we have a condominium at unit 2, unit R2.
Russ, I can't hear you. I mean, I can hear you, but it's very muffled.
I can't. I
We
can't.
can't
say
understand.
Muffled. I don't know why it would be muffled.
Can you sit back? Maybe that worked before. I don't know.
Well, I'm trying to sit back now. How's that?
That's better.
That's-
Yes, a little further from the mic, maybe.
Yeah, maybe it's on too high, but I can't really tell. Can you hear me now? Fine.
It's
Better,
really-
it's really not that good.
I tried the headphones, that didn't help. And I don't know what more I can do. I'll try, how far I'm closer, how's that?
That's worse.
That's where,
Okay. So yeah, I'm a good distance away from the mic now.
maybe just a little closer? Try that.
Okay, how's that?
Speak
That's
slowly.
That's
better.
perfect.
That's
Speak
better.
slowly.
Yeah, it's pretty sensitive, I guess, huh?
Yeah,
Okay, so we have a condominium, that's unit R2 at Green Tea Place. The current assessment is $683,530. It's in a condo complex, which we're calling Island Condos.
I'm sorry. I might need some help if it was a question.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's still hard to discern.
Yep.
Can he call in instead of using internet?
A great idea.
calling to where?
Instead of using his computer for the Zoom, use the, like you use your
Oh,
phone.
yeah, you could use his phone.
Good question.
Oh,
That's
there,
good.
it
Oh,
sounds
good. Stay there.
Heard to that.
Don't
Here's a
move
good
your-
question.
I just barely moved. I guess I'm gonna have to stand still.
Yeah,
Perfect.
yeah.
Don't move.
All right, why don't you repeat your intro again, please?
Okay, so we have a condominium. It's unit R2 on 7 Green Tea Place.
Right. Oh, good. We got it.
The current assessment is $683,530.
Great. Thank you. Mr. LaRusso, you want to present your case?
I do. So a while back, the builder of these units was a fellow by the name of John Red. He's a local guy. You probably know John. So back when there was going to be a price increase for the taxes there, John said to me, he said, Jeff, he said, my unit was the very last one to be sold in the complex. And there was a reason. There's a huge swamp behind it. And it doesn't have that same area to walk out and have like a backyard or anything. So because of it, for obvious reasons, it was the very last one to be sold. And he had to sell it at an extreme discount to move it. But my wife and I and our kids, we primarily use it in the winter. So having no yards, it wasn't as terribly important to us as it might be for other people that, may own it somewhere down the road. Anyway, John said, you know what? He said, I believe that your unit should be reassessed and it should be evaluated at a lower price than the other units in the area. So this was back in 2021. So he actually did come down here, and he actually came down on our behalf. He met with Teresa, and I don't know exactly what was said at the meeting, but Teresa sent us back a letter saying that actually it was to John, saying that the valuation should be lowered. I don't know if you'd actually gone out to the property.
That would have been from the board. of
Yeah.
Civil Authority.
So the board went back to the property, they saw it, and they lowered my tax basis lower than the other units in the complex because of where it is. And, you know, because it has no backyard, because it gets hit by golf balls like every week. So anyway, it got lowered. Now, there was a slight increase in, bear with me for a second, I've got to find my notes here. Okay, so there was a slight increase 2 years after that. It went from 32.43 for 6 months to 35.20. That was in the 2023 to 2024 season. And you know what, that seemed very reasonable to me.
Excuse me, are those your taxes that?
Yes.
That's your tax number. I think we're only talking, if I'm not mistaken, we're only talking about the value of the property
Right, and the value of the property,
as an indicator of the taxes that you're going to pay.
correct, yes, that's right. And because of where my unit is,
Yeah.
it really should be, it was once before lowered, the valuation.
Value.
And that's why I'm here again tonight, is to tell you once again that the valuation on my unit, R2, should be less than the others. For the same reasons as John Red came here a couple of years ago and pled the case for the unit. And so that's why I'm here. The unit is not worth $683,000 because of where it sits. And also most of the units are 4-bedroom units. And I believe some have sold in that range, but they're 4-bedroom with basements. These are much smaller units and they're built on slabs. And there's a swamp right at the edge of the property. So as I said, because of that, John came down and fought the case 2 or 3 years ago. And I'm basically back here once again saying that maybe other units in other parts of the complex, I would agree with you, would be worth $683,000, but ours is not. And there would be no way in the world that that would be sold for $683,000. And by the way, I spoke with John Red last week about this because he knows all the units. He sells them often in the complex. And he once again agreed with me. He said, no, your unit is not worth 683. So that's pretty much my case. Beyond that, I don't know what to say. I know also there was something about an inspection inside the unit, and the inside is in perfect condition. It gets used very rarely. My wife are very, we're pretty much gentle on the unit. We don't abuse it or anything. So you're certainly welcome to see the inside, but personally, I think the inside is in perfect shape.
No, we're required to inspect every property that's appealed.
Okay, that's fine.
Question, John.
Sure, go ahead, Bonnie.
What do you think it should be valued at?
I would think around $500,000, maybe 525. And that's in today's market. I mean, who knows if we go into another recession, honestly, I think it'd be right back in the 300 range. But John Red also thought 500,000 he'd be able to sell my unit for. And that was part of our discussion last week.
Okay, thank you.
May I?
Sure, go ahead.
Based on the information from the comparable sales report, I don't know if you have a copy of this or not. The other 5 units on the list here all seem to be valued substantially higher than yours.
When you say the other 5.
So we have Cedar Creek DR8.
Ms. Russo, what Tony is reading from is the assessor put together a comparable sales report of similar properties to yours.
Okay.
And so I don't know if you have that, but that's what Tony's reading.
Yeah. Do you have one of these?
I believe that was,
Okay.
I believe Therese had sent that.
So the other properties on this list are valued higher than your current assessment.
Those properties are not in our complex though.
Yes,
Oh.
yes, they are.
Oh, they are?
Yeah. Yeah, it looks like they're all Haystack Highlands units.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, they look like they are the 3-level units to me. And yours is a 2-level, correct?
Yes, the
slab.
3-level units are absolutely much more valuable. And they sit up on the hill, they have views.
Right.
No, they're absolutely worth more. I would not disagree with you at all.
Okay.
The units with the basements, that are a little further up, they're absolutely worth more than mine.
So
no question.
do you know if any units in your part of the complex that are 2 levels have sold?
I don't think I actually asked John Red about that, and John said, no, none had sold.
Okay.
But even
Yeah,
the
it's
couple that are
small.
down that way, like
But I don't know.
there's a couple alongside of me. There's 2
Right.
other units, and they have
the
like
square
really
foot
nice
price?
backyards. There's no swamp
It's a
behind
small
them.
unit.
They don't get hit by golf balls once a week. There's a reason why John came down and pled the case for my particular unit.
Thank you.
Russ, do you want to respond?
Yes. That's true. There weren't any sales of the smaller units. So when the system picked the comparables, it made an adjustment for the square footage. So the living area for his unit is 2,150 square feet. And then all the others are higher. But the system made a dollar adjustment for the difference in the square footage. So there was no comparables of the smaller units. And I didn't make any adjustments for the location of the condos. So it's so subjective. It's all a matter of opinion, so what the owner described could be true, and there possibly should be an adjustment for the location of it. But that wasn't done in this complex. We didn't make any adjustments for the location within the complex, so that some could have a better location or better view, or not get hit by golf balls. But I didn't really consider that, because it's too subjective. So there's adjustments are made for the bedroom count, square footage, whether it has air conditioning or not.
Yeah, no, it doesn't. I got that. I didn't get some.
Yours does not have central air?
It does not have air conditioning.
Okay.
I think it's.
Okay, well that's something we can fix, because it says, according to the data we have now, it says that you do have air conditioning.
It absolutely does not, sir.
Yeah, okay.
The unit next to me, the 2 units next to me, they do have central air.
So that would reduce the value if that's corrected.
I can assure you it does not.
So Russ, do you know how much it would reduce the value?
It looks like the adjustment for air conditioning is $4,300.
Okay. Any questions from the Board of Civil Authority to Russ or the appellant?
No.
Okay, great. The next step is for us to schedule, or first of all, to appoint an inspection team of 3 members of the Board of Civil Authority, and then schedule a time to actually inspect your
Okay.
condo with you.
Sure.
So who wants to do this?
When?
When are you available? That'll probably help us.
Do you want to do it like this week, or?
We can,
Um,
or next week.
yeah, I mean, I'm here. Let's see. Well, I don't know. Would you guys, would anyone be available tomorrow morning possibly?
Hold on.
I'll remind you of Great River tomorrow morning
Yep.
at 9.
No, at 11.
11,
now,
yeah.
sorry. Yep.
Do it before that.
I don't want to be my first one. I can go tomorrow morning before 11 if anyone can go. I just don't want
Okay.
to go solo for my first one.
No, we have to have
No,
3
We have
people.
to have
Okay.
3 anyway, yeah.
Thank you.
Ronnie?
Hold on, please. Tomorrow morning. No, I have 7 showings tomorrow.
Okay.
Oh my God.
I had to do the math in my head.
Yeah, right.
It's just not gonna
Is,
work.
would Friday be, would that work?
Yeah, good.
I'm out on Friday and going to Maine.
Can we do a Friday morning, like?
Yeah.
Sure.
early?
What time, Bonnie?
9 o'clock?
Does that work for you, Charlie?
9:30?
9:30,
9:15?
okay. But I gotta
9:30.
go to work after that, so.
All right. I can,
Minute. Uh-huh.
All right, so November 8th
Yeah, 6.
at 9:30.
Okay.
Charlie, Bonnie, and John?
Who am I
Yeah, I'll
going
do
with?
Huh?
I said, who am I going with?
Charlie and
And
myself.
yourself, okay.
Thank you for your service.
All right.
So November 8th, 9:30, that's Friday.
Yeah.
Oh, that'd be great. Yeah. Yeah. So then I'll just head back home after that, after you guys come.
Yep.
Perfect.
Thank you very much.
Well,
for
thank
coming.
you very much. I appreciate you listening to me. And Teresa, I'll leave you with all the stuff.
Sure.
If you. Okay. So you'll know where to find. Do you want
Yeah.
to know where it is? Or
We know.
you know where it is?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank
So
you.
unit R2, I will be waiting for you at 9:30.
Okay. Our next case is Spain, property number 002020007.000, land only.
You're all set.
Yes, you're
Yeah.
set. Thank you.
Thanks, Stephanie.
Let's see.
I don't know who's on the phone. On the,
Is William or Regina Spain on the phone?
Earl Slate's on the phone.
a little louder.
I said Earl
Who's on-
Slate is on the phone, you asked.
Earl Slate. Okay, thanks, Earl.
All right.
Thank you.
All right, then we will skip over Spain and go to Slate Family Trust. Property number 0100403900014 Langway Drive. Is anyone
it.
here
On the phone.
on the phone?
On the phone, yep.
All right, hold on 2 seconds. I'm just pulling up the file.
Yep.
Okay, can you please raise your right hand, and Russ, raise your right hand?
You got it.
Under the pains and penalties of perjury, do you solemnly swear that the evidence you give in the cause under consideration shall be the whole truth and nothing but the truth?
I do.
I do.
Great, thank you. Have you received a copy of the rules of procedure? I believe they were sent to you.
Yes,
Yes,
yes.
good.
I don't have it right here with me right now.
No, you just need to have received it. Do any members of the Board of Civil Authority have any conflicts of interest or have had ex parte communications with the appellant?
No.
None. All right. Russ, do you want to introduce this property, please?
Okay. We have a residential property at 14 Langway Drive, comprised of a dwelling and 2.01 acres. Now, the current grieved value, the value was reduced on a grievance. It was reduced down to $298,930. When I did the review, I found some mistakes. So I actually reduced the value down to $283,120 now. So if you look at the property record card, you'll see the worksheet value. And so that's what I would recommend as the value now, $283,120.
Okay, I was wondering what that was. I wasn't sure about that. Russ, while I'm talking to you, there was one thing you changed.
Excuse me.
Excuse me. Roll over here, I'm sorry.
This isn't a discussion.
Oh, it's an error, and it's an error. That's what I want to present. So I'll wait till you want me to talk to you.
All right. Are you finished, Russ, or?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you want to just say what the errors were so we understand those?
I don't have it in front of me. I redid the drawing. It was related to the sketch and the square footage, I believe.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't have the old one in front of me. Sorry.
All right. Is it Mr. Slate?
Earl.
Yes,
Earl.
speaking.
All right. It's
Yeah.
your turn to speak.
One of the changes they made on one of the decks, it was originally listed as 12 by 21. I believe that was just a typographical because the deck is actually 12 by 12. So on the updated card, the deck now says 12 by 14. Not sure how that happens. It's supposed to be 12 by 12. I mean, it's not a big square footage change, but it's just not accurate. That's all. Okay.
Okay,
No, I can correct that.
Yeah, I figured that was an easy one. Anyway, I've given all the photos and things that I had of the place, but I would just like to have somebody evaluate it because I think the property isn't really in the greatest of condition, especially in the downstairs area. So I'm not challenging anything else that was done previously. All the corrections were made on the square footage and everything else, so I have no problem with that.
so, okay,
Yeah, so, yeah, we have the property and it's a little bit below average quality. We have an average minus quality, and we do have it in fair condition with the depreciation of 32%.
Okay, yeah, I'm not being a real estate person, I'm not sure if that is an accurate type thing. I don't know enough about that. I just know that it's not really in good condition. I'm not sure if that definition of fair would be accurate. I'm not sure. That's why I figured if you guys were going to come up and take a look at it, that'd be great. If not, okay.
Question. Are you challenging the value or suggesting that the new value that Russ adjusted down to the 283, 120 be lowered?
Well,
or-
I just found out about that just now, man. I just found out about that newly adjusted value.
Then what do you think the value should be?
I don't have an answer for you there. I guess we can just call it as it is then. Sounds too complicated. As long
so,
as we change the square footage. What's that?
If I change the square footage on the deck, it'll reduce it very minimal amount.
Yeah, next to nothing, I'm sure. Yes, right.
Yeah.
I understand. I understand that.
He mainly wants the cards corrected? The information on the card?
I suppose that would be a good idea because other than that, it's always going to be 12 by 14, I suppose.
yeah, well, Russ said he would correct the card, so we can.
Yeah,
get that
I have
done.
no problem with that.
I
Okay, that's
guess,
good.
I guess what we're struggling with is what you think the value of the property should be.
As I just told you, I'm not a real estate person. I don't know. So I will accept your valuation. How's that?
Well, see, here's the thing.
Okay.
We don't necessarily just set the valuation, you know, the assessor who represents the town has set a valuation. You have to present some evidence that, one, that's incorrect, and two, what you
Excuse me, I just told you I'd accept it. His
You accept it?
valuation.
okay,
That's what I said. So,
all right.
So that means you're withdrawing your tax appeal or assessment appeal.
sounds great. Thank you. Yes,
Okay,
All right.
Okay.
and-
that was tough.
all right. All right, thank you very much.
Take care.
It can be available for the walk-around.
And Therese, you then
Thanks,
send him a
Tony.
letter,
You're just
right?
smart.
Yes,
Yeah.
I will.
Okay, great.
All right.
Done.
All right, the next property is Ullman, property number 01004027.000 80 Shore Hill Road. Hold on, let me pull up Leo there?
Nope.
All right,
This is going great.
Yeah.
I love
Charlie,
this
this is
board.
not typical, just say.
It's like a chamber meeting. I love it.
okay. Then hold on, I just want to make sure, keep track.
Yeah.
All right, so the next property is Zakowski, property number 00901023.000 140 Heights Road.
Well, now,
Oh, yeah.
he stopped in.
I said half
Asked
an
for
hour.
adjustion of time for when.
He
I
will be
thought you
back.
told him to come back in a half hour, didn't you?
Yeah, I did. I said it might be an hour, but I said half an hour would be safer, so.
All right,
he was
Can I ask
coming.
a question?
Yes, sir.
Is this the same property we looked at last time?
Yes,
for the
it is.
garage?
Yeah.
Very well, thank you.
Yeah,
And
it's
Mr.
Point of reference.
Mr. Buckley is here on behalf of that property as well.
All
Oh,
right.
yeah. Okay,
Because
well,
the-
I guess we should wait for the appellant. then.
Right, since he was here, he said he'd be back.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's fine.
absolutely. All right, then we'll move on to Bull. Property number 00702004004.000, land only on Higley Hill Road. And I see Peter Bull on screen on Zoom, but you're muted.
Can't hear you. You gotta hit your mute button.
Unmute.
Unmute.
You have to unmute.
Does
At
it-
the bottom
see
of
the red
your
light?
screen.
There you go.
You got it.
Yeah.
You
Right,
can hear him. Yep.
you can?
Still not hearing you.
Keep talking. I could hear you a minute ago, I thought. Red light went out.
It's frozen.
No.
No, he's just looking.
If you,
for his button.
if you hover on the audio image bottom left corner, and it asks you what to choose for the mic. And you should be able to
Should be
tell it
next to
the
your
computer.
video image, which presumably you have on, since we can see you.
Join with computer audio. No, we can't hear you. You gonna call in?
Yeah, you can call in.
You can call in. There's a number on the, there.
It's
No.
on the- Oh, yes, it is.
When you register.
Uh,
Oh, that's ahead of time. Sorry.
301-715-8592. And then there's a whole bunch of numbers you have to put in. Hold on, Peter. Okay, meeting ID 869-7282-4518. And then afterwards, it's going to ask you a passcode 247555. Or we can practice sign language.
Or I can give him my cell phone.
What is this? What is this agenda say we're processing till November 20th? Isn't that meeting next week?
Yes, there is.
But we usually usually takes 2 weeks to get the inspection done and the
Got it.
inspection report repeated, completed so that we can read it into record.
So where on the Dropbox can I see, is there an example of one you guys have already done that I can look at where I can see
Inspection
it?
report?
Inspection report, yeah.
So there's a folder called inspections.
Oh. All right,
Now you gotta unmute.
yeah, you're on mute. Your phone's on muted.
That's because every entry is gonna be muted. *6, and what is it?
There, you have me now?
Hey.
Oh, a little echo, but.
Okay.
No, it's not over yet. Peter, on your computer, you've got to mute your computer. So we don't get an echo.
Mute the speaker. Turn your volume all the way down on your computer. Oh, he's gotta hear us. Oh, he will hear us through the phone.
Yeah, he'll hear us.
There, how's that? Is that better?
That's
Yes,
better.
Yep.
okay. So
Okay,
the-
thank
the-
you for the patience.
Okay, so the first order of business, Mr. Bull, is I need to swear you and Russ in. So could you please raise your right hand? Under the pains and penalties of perjury, do you solemnly swear that the evidence you give in the cause under consideration shall be the whole truth and nothing but the truth?
I do.
do.
Okay. Mr. Bull, did you receive a copy of our rules of procedure?
Yes.
Okay, great. Members of the BCA, are there any conflicts of interest or
No.
ex parte communications?
No.
No,
None. Great. Russ, will you give a brief introduction of this property?
Yes, we have a vacant lot, which is 39 acres. And we've got a location for the property off of Cliffs Hollow for the property location. The current assessment after a reduction from the grievance is $97,550.
how many acres did you say, Russ?
39.
Thank you.
Okay, Mr. Bull.
I received no material for comparison. I have the residential that shows the home site residential excess. There's no comparison that was provided to me from the town on that. So I didn't know if the 40,000 was normal for a base rate. Plus, the price I paid per acre was $2,307.69. The residential excess is being charged at $3148.65, which is $31,000 more. I have no utilities on it. The closest utility I can bring up is 2,500 feet from Cliffs Hollow Road, or get an easement from the town via the transfer station. As far as for the well, it sits 800, the location that's set with the permit on the property is 800 feet from the toe of the old slope of the old dump on it. There's no septic, no municipal water sewer. 23% of the property is wetland. And the other, another, I think 10 or 11 acres on the other side of that. The stand is spruce and some pine, but no access to get it unless I can go across wetlands to do anything with it. And the access road is 2,300 feet to the, roughly to the, from Cliffs Hollow Lane to the property line on it. That is pretty much a woods road. That if you don't have a four-wheel vehicle, you're not getting up it. So I'm trying to understand why it went up so much on that, and why from the price per sale per acre to what it's being charged at is that, when it's really, you need to put in $60,000 to put a road in, or maybe not 60, but 50,000 to put a road in to be able to do anything up there, but I do not have that. So I'm asking, and there was no mention of wetland in the card that was provided from the town on. So I think that should be, price should be reduced considerably, especially minimum of 31,000 for the excess charge per acre that the town assessed at versus what the sale price was.
Okay. Russ, do you want to respond to that, please?
Okay, so I did make some adjustments to the land. On the home site, I took off 20% because it's vacant, so it doesn't have any utilities, well or septic or anything. I also took 10% off for topography, and then I took another 30% off for access because of the poor location. And on the excess land, I took off 30% for topography, which is basically considering the fact that it's not that it could be the wetlands that we looked at, but the thing is that I only could find one comparable lot sale in the neighborhood, which I provided the property record card for Old Stage Road, which is it's a small lot.
But there was no, sorry.
Yes, it's not that comparable because it's just a small lot. But the other issue is the fact that you paid $90,000 when you purchased it just last year.
So why am I being taxed above my purchase price? And you did not include wetlands in there. Topography is the lay of the land, hills and all that. It
Yeah.
says nothing about wetlands, and wetlands you can't do anything on or any kind of building. If I was to put a permit or get some kind of access to go across and build on the other side of my property, I can't do it because it's wetlands and everything that you need to go and do that. So I still think one of the main reasons is that you're putting a price of $31.48 per acre when I paid $23.07 per acre, which is $31,000, which is considerable.
I'm not sure where you're getting that.
That number is right off the residential valuation record that you sent me. So the excess land is valued at $116,500. When at the price that I paid it for, it's at $85,384. So you take your 30% away for that for topography, and it comes up to $59,000, not $81,000.
Well, that's a good question, but I think it's correct, 81,000 after the 30% reduction.
Why am I being charged $840 an acre more than I paid for it? So I'm getting, my land is valued more than what I paid for it.
You know, we don't put the exact same value that you paid for it. It goes through the system, and the system calculates a value based on the land tables, land schedule that we put in. So it could be a little bit more, it could be less, it could be very close to what you paid for it, but
Well,
we aren't that far away.
You gave me no comparable values to look at.
There aren't any. I looked, there aren't any sales of a comparable property similar to yours.
Don?
There's always a, there's always a,
Should they be dialoguing this?
No, I mean, I think you both made your case. Thank you, Tony.
May I ask a
Yes,
question?
questions from
Mr.
BCA.
Mr. Bolt, you actually paid $90,000 in March of this year, is that correct?
I think it's October 20th.
No, I paid $90,000 in October of last year.
Oh, okay. All right,
So-
thank you. But it was 90,000, but I was trying to
Yes.
determine. Thank you.
Any other questions from the Board of Select Board?
Oh, thank you.
Okay,
Can I,
so,
what? Yeah, I've got a question.
okay.
What do you think is a fair assessment?
I think it should be probably around $60,000 or the $31,000 at minimum, going by the price that I paid per acre for it. Because you have it a price at $31.48 and you can't tell me where you got that value at $31.48 from. So I believe it should be the $97.5 that was done from the previous hearing and reducing it by $31,000.
Thank you.
Yeah, just to explain the valuation of the excess acres. So you're in a neighborhood which is called neighborhood 15. Anybody that had 39 acres in that neighborhood would have that exact same value, except for the 30% reduction. So, you know, to create equity, everybody's treated the same way.
Thank you, gentlemen.
All right,
Set up an inspection.
so the next thing to do, Mr. Bull, is we need to come out and inspect your property. You want to be there, we can schedule a time, or we can just, you know, go out. and
No,
look.
I would like to be there for that.
Okay. So when are you available?
I know I heard you talking Friday that you had something. I would
Yeah.
be able to do the 11th. but the remainder of the week I cannot. I do construction inspection, and they are erecting a 192-foot water tower, new water tower in Alburg, Vermont, that I'm in charge of.
Okay.
So I could do the 11th or the week of the 18th, whichever is convenient for you folks. I know it's better to get it done sooner than later, but
All right.
Somebody else can.
11th,
11th,
Veterans
Tony?
Day. Yeah, I can be here.
You can be there.
You can?
Yep.
All right. So Tony, Meg,
What time on the 11th?
Charlie.
Time,
Can we do it at, can we do it at 11? Is that record
11
day?
on the 11th?
Yeah, I've got something before that.
Does that work for you, Mr. Bull?
Oh, my. 11.
yes, it will.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because it's not a 3-hour drive, so if I leave at 8, I can be down there in time for that.
Okay.
And where should we meet you, Mr. Bull? On Cliffs
Why
Hall?
don't you meet me right down at the bottom? Meet me right down at the bottom of the driveway on Cliffs Hollow Lane.
Okay. Never been further than the bottom of the driveway, so, okay. As long as we can find it.
Can I ask a quick question there?
Yeah.
So I'm a little
Yeah.
familiar with the property out there. How far into your land can we travel safely without getting wet or stuck?
If you don't have a truck and it's wet from the weather or soft from the weather that we've been having, you're not going to make it up the first incline. So you might make it in about 500 feet, but it goes up at probably a 30-degree pitch right
Yeah.
off the bat.
That's why I was asking. So before we schedule, I just want to point out, in my opinion, it's really up to you if you want to take 6 hours of travel to come and point out the land. That's your call. You're welcome to come, but I think we're experienced enough that if we go out there and we can determine where it is, without putting you any further out of your way, is my point. It's your call, though.
Well, it is a lot of driving and it's costly for gas, but I like to also be there in person and hear the thoughts as well.
Well, we won't be giving any thoughts there.
Right. We won't
Okay.
be taking any testimony.
It's just an inspection, and then afterwards, we as a committee confer and come back to the full committee.
How much of the property, when you go up there, are you gonna walk?
Not all of it.
Okay.
I can't say until I see it.
Not gonna lie to you. Nope.
Yeah, no. We're gonna determine where it is,
Yeah.
and we have fairly good satellite maps, make sure we're on the right spot.
And the material you provided, especially with the wetlands map, is very beneficial. It's very helpful. So that being said, it's up to you.
Well, if you folks are gonna go up there on the 11th at that time, I will send an email to Therese, or who else would I send it to, saying one way or the other?
Okay, that'd be great. Thank you.
Yeah.
Oh, one more question on that I did not put in. I have a current use plan that will be in effect for next year, if that makes any difference on anything.
Good for you.
I have that map that you got showing the wetlands and the topography on that is from a forest plan that is accepted by the local forester, and it's been accepted by the state. It's just a matter of finishing the paperwork for everything.
Good idea.
Okay, thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Peter.
It was me, Tony, and Charlie, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Give Charlie the flippers.
Couple more weeks, maybe hopefully we'll need snowshoes.
Yeah, I did. Yeah. So
Uh,
is Marshall continued? Is that?
Marshall has been delayed till next week.
Okay, next week. The same with, but Grenold is,
Renault's supposed to be here.
okay. Right.
Well,
Was this the night he had something in Brattleboro and would be more like 6:30?
All right, I'll be right. You're in trouble.
Hold on.
Yeah, I didn't see him on the schedule that I have for tonight.
He's on.
We had a continuance with him, so we placed Baloo Hill and 13 Beaver Street for tonight. And next week will be the other two. Well, he's got a Saddle Ridge and Ghastly Job Way would be the other.
No, so
ones.
Adam's,
It's on the agendas that are in the
Adam's,
Dropbox.
Adam's email is that he has, on the 13th, he cannot start till 6:30.
Okay.
He should be here.
Okay. Well, we're waiting on Mr. Ziskowski as well. What happened there?
Yeah.
So what happens if they don't show up?
Well, there is the record, so we can continue with the case.
Yeah.
Based on the written record. People do not have to show up.
Okay.
It's-
We do have to go inspect.
Yes, we have to inspect, we have to go through the entire process,
Right.
but we will not hear their verbal testimony.
So with that in mind, shouldn't we go back to the other one that we skipped over?
Yep,
Spain?
yep, we'll go back to Spain.
So John, question.
Yes,
I thought I read somewhere, but it could be my foggy brain. If they didn't show up, then we could assume that it was, they
No.
weren't appealing, no? So
No.
I misread something somewhere, okay. Okay.
because, I
The
mean,
only withdrawal is if they refuse an inspection. If an
Yeah.
inspection
Okay,
is
that was it,
refused,
maybe.
then the board dismisses the case.
all right.
Okay.
Oh, if you can excuse me for a second, I don't have my paperwork for Grinnell because I didn't realize you were gonna do that tonight.
Okay,
So I'll get what I used last time.
yeah, well,
I'll be right back.
okay,
Okay, thanks, Russ.
so we'll go back to Spain and Alman. And then we'll see what happens. So Charlie, this doesn't usually happen. People usually show up and are very happy to testify.
You don't blame him.
Yeah. I blame Tony.
Now, are we doing Spain now?
Yes,
Okay,
it'll be very brief.
okay.
We'll can hear from Russ.
That's right.
Oh, Russ is not here, so I'm gonna get one.
Yeah, you got a minute.
So then basically, we talk about what Russ says, and then we schedule an inspection, we go do it on the ILM.
You're gonna make a decision.
We've already done that once this year.
Okay.
What was it? Neckcoff. Was it Neck? Yes.
Oh, the haystack lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He didn't show up. He had some written testimony and then he waived the inspection. And so he didn't even have to look at the property.
But this guy isn't waiving anything yet, right?
No.
Okay.
So what'll happen is we'll hear from Russ. Then we'll have Therese communicate with
Just in time.
Mr. Spain?
Mr. Spain and try to schedule an inspection.
Okay.
But with Spain, it's land only.
Yeah.
You're welcome to join me here in the end, or whatever you want, sir.
What's his argument?
All right, I don't blame you.
Yeah, man.
Okay, I'm back.
Huh?
I'm back.
Okay,
He's back. Wait for Charlie.
we'll just wait for Charlie and then we'll get going. It's been a very odd evening.
I'm sure it is.
Yeah.
All right, where are we at?
We're on Spain, but Spain's not here, so we're just gonna have Russ introduce the property and that'll be it.
You'll take his
you?
oath as well.
Yeah, we'll take his oath, we'll go through the procedures. All right, So we are back to Spain, which is property number 002020007.000 land only. Russ, do you want to raise your right hand and I'll swear you in? Under the pains and penalties of perjury, do you solemnly swear that the evidence you give in the cause under consideration shall be the whole truth and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Okay, I will just note that the appellant is not in attendance tonight. So I will go to the next procedure item, which is, do any members of the Board of Civil Authority have a conflict of interest or have had ex parte communications?
Negative.
No.
No.
Okay, Russ, would you like to introduce this property to us, please?
Yes, we have a vacant lot that's 1.1 acres located on East Village Circle. The current assessment is 120,000 even.
And maybe you just want to briefly describe how you reached that assessment?
Well, this is in neighborhood 16. Some of the evidence that I submitted really, I was doing, trying to do some homework on it. So some of it doesn't really apply. I couldn't really find any sales in this neighborhood. But the owner, they own the adjacent property where they have a dwelling. So this abuts their property. So I included the map, which shows the property on the corner. So they own, they live at, or they have a house and dwelling at lot 42. And this vacant lot is right next to it, right on the corner, and it's lot 43. So the land is valued based on this. It's a house site with a minus 20 factor for being vacant with no utilities. And yeah, that's the same as anybody else in that neighborhood. So when I looked at this, originally it came up with, I had Stag's Leap in that neighborhood, but it shouldn't have been. So the information, the evidence that the market analysis that I included is really not appropriate or doesn't contribute anything to the defense of the value.
Okay. Any questions from the Board of Civil Authority?
Russ, is that a lot served by public water and sewer?
Let's see if it's showing here. I don't see it on the property record card. So I can't tell you that. I'd have to look it up.
Does it have access to electricity?
Yeah.
So I valued it as a buildable lot. So I don't know what what their argument was, whether it was buildable or not. There could be some topography issues with it, but it's a typical lot for that neighborhood, which is the East Village, Haystack Village East.
Right, I thought that was on public sewer, which, makes a difference.
Okay. Any other questions? All right. I'll just note for the record the letter that Mr. Spain sent to Therese does have some argument into it, so we may want to read that at some point. So Therese, I guess the next step is to find out some dates when we can inspect this property. I don't really think Mr. Spain needs to be there with us.
It's just a law.
Yeah, we're just going to be looking at a lot.
Ready?
Okay. So we'll probably, I guess probably ask him for a date after next Wednesday, so that we can set an inspection team once we know the dates.
So after the 13th?
Yes, please.
Would that include the 13th or?
No.
We want to meet first to know.
Yeah, we have to set an inspection team, and it's difficult to set an inspection team without knowing what dates the property is available to inspect.
Roger, thank you.
All right. That hearing is closed, and I see that Mr. Zakowski is back in the room.
Yes.
Why don't you come up here, please? And that's your appraiser too?
Yes.
He should probably come up too. You're invited. And so I'll just start over again. Zakowski, land number 00901023.000, 140 Elwell Heights Road. So the first order of business is I need to swear in everybody who is testifying. So please raise your right hand. Under the pains and penalties of perjury, do you solemnly swear that the evidence you give in the cause under consideration shall be the whole truth and nothing but the truth?
Yes, I do.
Do?
Great. Did you receive a copy of the rules of procedure? They're like right there. They're sent to you by Therese.
Yeah.
Okay, great. Are there any conflicts of interest or ex parte communications from the Board of Civil Authority? No, hearing none. Russ, do you want to introduce this property, please?
Yes. So we have residential property located at 140 Elwell Heights Road. It has 1.25 acres, and the current certified value is 168,880. Now, I had to make some changes to the property because when I went online, I discovered that the property, the living area that we have was understated. It looks like back when the listers lowered the value for grievance back in 2020, they changed the upper level. They changed it to a loft. So that square footage wasn't included in the living area. So I put it back the way it was originally. So when you look at the drawing on the back, you'll see that the upper floor is a one-story upper, which increased the square footage to 2,789. It was 2,357. And so I went on realtor.com, they have the square footage listed as 2,760. So we're a little bit off a few square feet, but it's because we do the measurements, or the measurements were taken from the outside. So there could be a little difference in the total square footage. So by increasing that square footage, and I also found that the bathroom count was not right. We had it in as 1 3-fixture bath and 1 5-fixture bath. And in the pictures that are on realtor.com, it showed that there's a bathtub in the master bedroom. So the tub is actually in the bedroom, it's not in the bathroom. So it's possibly a jet tub, but it's a standalone tub. So in switching that, that changed the value for the property also. So the value went from 568,880, it went up to now it's 599,310, which you can see on the worksheet value. So that's what I would be recommending for the value at this time. Again, it's up to the board to decide whether to use the original value or the changes that I made.
Okay. Thank you very much, Russ. Mr. Zakowski.
Yes. So first of all, I would like to thank you, the members of Board of Civil Authority, for giving me an opportunity to present my case. I provided the current appraisal for the property, which came with the estimated fair market value of $435,000. And I'm sorry.
No, I didn't say anything.
As an engaged community member, I would point out that Board of Civil Authority is the last remaining impartial local governing body. I am concerned with the implications of town last reappraisal effort. What I'm about to say might sound controversial, but for the record, I would like to express my views. In as much as this is the last local hearing venue, I would just quickly like to point out the different obvious stakeholders' roles. We got the taxpayers, listers, reappraiser contractors, Vermont State Oversight, and Board of Civil Authority. Unfortunately, the listers have been abolished. The reappraisal contractor is viewing my assessment purely through the lens of errors and omissions. And the state is nowhere to be seen despite receiving near 75% of the taxes raised at the local level. That leaves just us to discuss the most reliable, relevant, and credible information available to support a claim, decision, or argument leading to determination of the fair market value. The state of Vermont generally defines the fair market value as the estimated fair market value of the property is the price that the property will bring in the market when offered for sale and purchased by another, taking into consideration all the elements of the availability of the property, its use, both potential or prospective, and functional deficiencies, and all other elements such as age and condition that combines to give property a market value. With that in mind, unfortunately, I am not allowed discovery at this venue, insulating the appraisal contractor from the usual form of evidentiary inquiry, such as the process of gathering, analyzing, and evaluating evidence to support or refute a claim or the argument. I presented my case at grieving hearing last summer with a number of comparable properties to support the case. The case was denied, and not even a single word of explanation was given by assessor to support his decision. With burden of proof on me, on September 15, I sent email to town clerk and board of listers asking for information about my property valuation details, such as how the specific number was determined, what methods were used, who prepared the valuation, and what credential this person had. Never received an answer. After inquiring with town clerk shortly before this meeting, I received the following response via email, quote, "Unfortunately, they are not required to respond until the time of the hearing. There is no right of discovery in the tax appeal process," end quote. Also, I'm not even allowed to ask any follow-up questions to the assessor after he's gonna respond to my presentation at this meeting. How can taxpayer prepare for this meeting without access to any information? On top of that, state of Vermont do not require assessors to be licensed, and town does not seem to have any oversight of the reappraisal process. Similarly, the state guidance and oversight is nowhere to be seen and appears non-existent. The method, practices, and details of the reappraisal contractor are known only to them. It appears to me, based on very limited contractor disclosure, that there is systemic incompetence in the methods and practices associated with most recent reappraisal effort. The only information I received from the assessor was 5 properties he presented to us as comparable properties. Here I present my observation about those properties. I only use 4 of them because the 5th one is multifamily property, so I didn't think it's gonna apply to my single family house. In the table, you can see my property and the 4 comparables with the sale price, assessed value, number of bedroom, square footage, and some extra items like our loft, which apparently was moved right now into the square footage. That's what the appraiser was talking about. Most of those properties, if you're gonna take a quick look at this table, got much lower assessed value and higher number of bedrooms. Most of them are 4 bedrooms. Also interesting that one of the houses, 39 Moving Way, sold 2 years ago for $635,000, and currently, after the reevaluation, it's valued at $376,000. I don't know how it's possible, but it is. So to determine the reasonable assessment for 140 Elwell Heights based on the comparables we received from the assessors, we got the assessed value to sale price ratio, and those came in around 71.2% on average for those properties. The other data we used was the assessment ratio of 58 sales of real estate in Wilmington since April of this year. So those are all current sales, which came in about 72%. If you're gonna use this data to arrive with market value for our property, it's coming around either 405 or 4010, which is slightly below the number obtained from the appraiser, which came at 435. So both those methods, I mean, both either the comparable properties presented by the assessor or the recent sales in Wilmington support the much lower value of our property than assigned by the assessors. I believe the town of Wilmington can do better without any of the stakeholders here at the table. The elimination of the listers has eliminated local control. I believe the Board of Civil Authority is put in impossible position as it strives for efficiency with limited resources in decision making. To the Board of Civil Authority credit, they are accessible and accountable toward addressing local issues efficiently, and most importantly, are open and engaging with taxpayers. Thank you for your time.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Buckley, do you want to say anything at this time?
No, my report is really all.
Okay, thank you. Russ, do you want to respond, please?
Yes, as far as the evidence, I included a map of the property. If you can take a look at that. Technically, the parcel is actually 2 lots, but effectively it's only one because the house extends over into the other lot. So the fact that the house straddles the other lot, in effect, it kind of negates the fact that there's 2 lots there. So I just included that because when I did took a look at it, the GIS system says that it's actually 2 lots. The other thing I included was a property description from Realtor.com, which kind of gives you a better impression of what the property is like. And I thought that was helpful. I also I got all the comparables that the system determined, and it came up with about a market value of $603,000 based on the comparables that the system found. I also looked at the real estate listings for the property. Realtor.com values the property at $648,000 now. Redfin values the property at $577,482, and Zillow values the property at $610,900.
Mr. Buckley.
Yes. Am I to understand that the contractor didn't inspect any properties in conjunction with the reappraisal?
That's correct.
Did the contractor utilize MLS as a direct access to information regarding the sales during the period that he was creating his model?
The town doesn't subscribe to MLS.
Isn't that the best source of data to determine interior quality of properties, particularly when we're talking about properties in excess of $500,000?
I guess you could say it's a good tool, but I work for a number of towns in Vermont, and there's only 2 that I know of that subscribe to MLS.
So you're relying on internet AVMs to support your number?
No, I'm relying on the comparables that the system calculated. That's just a reference to give you an idea of. It gives us an idea whether the value's in the ballpark or not.
Well, then you're telling me that you relied on 3 AVMs to see if your number was in the ballpark. Is that right?
I relied on what?
3 automated valuation methods Realtor.com, Zillow, and I don't know what the third one was.
No, I didn't rely on them at all. That's just a reference. That's just a check to see if we're on track.
Well, then I would say you relied on them.
No, I didn't.
All right, it's a check to see if you're on track.
I looked at-
How do you account for the fact that 55 sales
Hang
since
on,
April 1st?
this isn't
I'm-
supposed to be
I know, I'm just gonna finish.
well, if you have a question, you should be directing it through the board.
How do we account for the fact that 55 sales since April 1st, 2024 are being assessed at 72% of market value? Is that the end goal for a reappraisal for a town? The benchmark for the state to require a reappraisal is 75%. The benchmark for the state to require an appraisal with COD is 15%. The numbers that we've seen since April have a coefficient of dispersion in excess of 25%. So I think the taxpayers' request for competence has merit.
Can I comment on that?
You want to respond, Russ, or?
We're not supposed to use sales after April 1 of 2024. Whatever happens is irrelevant. When we're doing our analysis, the state does their analysis using 3 years of sales up to April 1 of 2024. So we don't look at any sales after April of 2024.
I mentioned that as a test to the quality of the outcome of prediction of values. There is no rule that you can't look at the transactions after April 1st as a measure of competence. That rule doesn't exist. If that's a rule that you're following, it's probably not going to protect you for the 72% CLA ratio that you're already setting this town up for another reappraisal based on your numbers.
Any
The
questions?
market,
Yes.
the market is,
Hold on, please. Yes, me, it's my turn. So Russ, on the map you provided with a pond and a red line around it, sort of an L-shaped property map,
yeah,
and the house is certainly not within the red line.
that's correct.
So can you just?
It was originally.
Okay, so the red line's supposed to include the house? Is that the whole property?
Yeah, the whole property is there. The lot that the house was originally on is the lower left-hand corner.
Okay,
And then the house was rebuilt. It was a camp, I guess, originally, and it was rebuilt. And so it straddled, now it straddles the other lot.
so the second lot is the other lot, the red
Right.
line lot. Okay, my next question is, and feel free, either one of you or three of you, what's the average square foot value on April 1st, 2024?
145 to 175.
$145 in this
About
market?
$175 a square foot.
$175 a square foot.
In a range. It's not an average number, but it's within that range.
You can, okay. Russ, what do you got for average square foot value, please? Just in general.
I couldn't give you that. I don't. When I do the market comparables, it shows the dollar per square foot. So if you look at the comparable sheet, when at the top of the page, it's got a time adjusted site per square foot. So that each comparable it has there, so it automatically does that calculation.
Yeah.
So like the first comp is $340 a square foot. The second one's 134, 203, 291, 211.
All right, thank you. Those are my questions.
Apples and oranges. The assessments are the.
Thank you. The end of my question.
Any further questions from the Board of Civil Authority? So just, I assume, Mr. Zukowski, that the value you're looking for is the value in the appraisal?
I guess so. I assume that's like.
Well, don't guess. That's sort of a yes or no question.
Yes, it is.
Okay. Thank you. So the next step in the process is to set an inspection.
That's what I wanted to ask because I was in front of this board last year. And
I know.
you did
I went to your
inspections.
property.
No, I know. So I just didn't know if you want to see it again or nothing changed since last year. You can also see the current pictures on the appraisal report.
No, I realize that, but we're required by law to go, especially because there is a question about a change on your property with respect to the loft.
Okay.
So we should take a look at it.
Okay.
So is there a good couple dates?
If you can tell me what works for you, and I'll try to, because I have to drive here. I'm gonna be here on the full-time basis. So I'm away next week from Tuesday till like Sunday, practically from Monday till Sunday.
So not next week.
Next week, no, I can try to come this weekend if that would work, but I would have to drive here specifically to show you the property, or if it would be after the 19th. I don't know how long we can stretch this thing in time.
I can go.
When?
I'm out of town this weekend, but I have a calendar in front of me if it helps at all. Let me
After-
know when you want to go.
After the 19th, Patty?
After the 19th,
I think that's what you said.
I'm not available on the 19th. I'm going to pick somebody up at the airport, unless it's very early on the 19th. Or I am here on the 20th. I'm here on the morning of Friday, the 22nd.
Yeah, 22nd.
It's a Friday.
Does that work for the
How about
calendar?
Wednesday?
So just for scheduling
I'll be gone. We
purposes.
could do it on Wednesday.
Hold on.
Sorry.
Just for scheduling purposes, that will push us out to another meeting of the Board of Civil Authority, because I believe, and correct me if I'm wrong, Teresa, our last meeting was November 20th.
Yes.
Oh, okay. So we need to do it sooner.
And you can't do it the 19th.
Not between 12th and 19th. I'm gonna be away.
Okay.
I get a question
But
about
now, if something could work for you, I can check with my wife because I'm not gonna be anywhere here. I have to fly visit my son, but my wife's staying here in Connecticut, so maybe she would be able to drive for the weekend. Like if it's gonna be 14th, 15th, or 16th.
Yeah.
John, can I ask a quick question? please?
Sure.
On the morning of the 20th, is that too late for us to process this? Just jammed up too tight? To do the inspection, write it up, and have it for that night?
Little tight.
It's tight, but if you're,
I
if
can
we
be
can do
available.
that, then
If-
we,
It's one of the other days I can be available if it helps. Just if it helps.
Fine.
Well, he's gonna be, I could do it on the 20th.
That's what we're talking about, right?
Yeah,
Yes.
well, I'm just trying to give you guys,
As I said, if you guys, if it would work for the board the next weekend,
Or-
Thursday, Friday, or Saturday, I can check with my wife. I think she might drive here and like
So your
the
wife
possibility.
might be able to do it in the week?
like the 16th,
Weekend, like
I can't do
the
it.
14th, 15th, or 16th.
14,
14's a Thursday.
yep.
Yeah, Thursday, Friday, Saturday.
I could probably squeeze something in on Thursday, Friday, or Saturday.
I could do something on the 14th.
Okay, just give us a time. I'm trying to set that up.
Not from between 12 and 1,
Okay.
But 9 o'clock?
9 o'clock.
9 o'clock
9 o'clock
on
on
the
the 14th.
14th, if your wife could do it?
Yeah, I will have to quickly double check with her. about
sure,
it.
no, that's fine.
Yeah, we get back to Therese.
And if that date doesn't work, if you could provide us with a couple of other dates, that would be great.
Okay, so it's Tony,
Thursday,
Bonnie,
the
and who?
14th
Me
at
and
9
you.
a.m.
Okay.
Yes.
Yes,
Who? I
I
need,
believe it's Meg, Bonnie, and Tony.
okay.
Okay,
You'll let us know, or let Therese know.
Yes.
Yeah,
I'll send
okay.
the email and I'll confirm.
all right. Well, thank you very much for coming in and
Thanks for coming in.
testifying.
Thank you.
Thanks very much.
Have a good day.
Yes.
Did you say 9 o'clock?
Yeah.
Please,
On the 14th,
on the 14th.
140 Elwell Heights.
Yes.
be there.
Or be square.
You know, by November 14th, I'm gonna vote no.
How possible.
All right, the next case is Ullman, property number 01004027.000, 80 Sure Hill Road. Russ, you want to, let me swear you in.
A lot of swearing.
Okay,
Under the pains and penalties of perjury, do you solemnly swear that the evidence you give in the cause under consideration shall be the whole truth and nothing but the truth?
I do.
I note that the appellant is not in attendance. Do any members of the Board of Civil Authority have conflicts of interest or ex parte communications?
What are we talking about?
Ullman.
Ullman.
80
Ullman.
Sure
No,
Hill.
no, no.
No.
No?
Negative.
Hearing none.
Sheer Hill Road, no.
Russ, do you want to briefly introduce this property?
Okay, let me find it here. Hold on.
I'm sorry, I know we're confusing you because we're bouncing around.
Yeah, no, that's no problem. No, okay. So we've got a property at 80 Share Hill Road. It has a dwelling and 1.1 acres. The current assessment is $282,010.
Okay. And Mr. Ullman is not here, but he did provide a statement that he thought the value was no greater than $175,000. And he goes into a number of details in his letter about that. Russ, do you just want to discuss how you arrived at your value?
So basically, again, it goes through the system. It uses the market adjusted cost approach and developed the same way as any other property in town. And then I provided the comparable sales report, which is generated after the fact, to see if it tracks with the assessed value that we have. There's a significant land adjustment on the property because of its location and has a view. So the base value is 40,000 for that neighborhood, but then it was bumped up because of the location and the fact that it has waterfront also. It has waterfront access. It is not a waterfront property, but it does have waterfront access. So that's also an increase over the base value. So it comes up compounding the positive influence factors. It comes up with a value of $80,000 for the land.
Thank you. Does any member of the Board of Civil Authority have any questions? No. Okay. Therese, as with the other case that we did, can you see if there is an inspection date after next Wednesday? Thank you. All right. We'll close the hearing on that and go to the next property, which is Grenoble. 02320027.000 156 Blue Hill Road. Russ, can you raise your right hand, please?
I'll do a blanket one.
Yes. Well, we'll do both the Cleos too. Grenoble, Cleos LLC, 02022029.000 13 Beaver Street. All right. Under the pains and penalties of perjury, do you solemnly swear that the evidence you give in the cause under consideration shall be the whole truth and nothing but the truth?
I do.
I note for the record that the appellant is not in attendance. Do any members of the Board of Civil Authority have any conflict of interest or have had any ex parte communications with the appellant?
No.
Nope.
No. All right, Russ, do you want to introduce the Blue Hill property first, please?
Okay, so we have a multifamily house. It's a 4-unit multifamily dwelling at 13 Beaver Street.
No,
Which one?
no, Blue Hill first.
Oh, I'm sorry. Whoops. Blue Hill.
Yeah.
Know where that one is?
Blue Hill?
Or is
No,
it
it's the paperwork.
Oh.
It's out here, isn't it?
I'm not seeing that.
I mean,
That's Ghastly Way, I got that.
no, Blue Hill.
Oh, I misunderstood. I was looking at, I was looking at the address to the,
Okay.
up here.
So. look
Gotcha,
down
thank
here,
you.
we want Blue Hill.
Oh, so you want to do,
I thought we were gonna get land based.
156 Blue Hill Road is where we're starting.
okay, I got it. So we have a single family dwelling at 156 Blue Hill Road. Blue Hill. I keep saying.
Yep.
And it's got 1.9 acres. And the current assessment is $549,890.
So Charlie, you asked why there wasn't a continuance. This has already been continued once. The reason it was continued is because Adam brought a PowerPoint deck that we could not see. He was supposed to provide it to Therese. He failed to provide it and is failed to be in attendance. So he has now had 2 meetings to discuss this property. We will be inspecting the property.
Nothing's been done so far.
Yes, and I'll explain this property to you after the hearing.
So I provided comparables for the property. And just to make a note that he purchased the property for $725,000 last year.
Yep.
And again, I look at Realtor, Redfin, and Zillow. Realtor.com valued it at $688,000. Redfin valued it at $692,000. And Zillow valued it at $770,600. So our assessment is actually, I believe it's undervalued actually.
So, yes. So Charlie, so you understand, the Board of Sale Authority can lower the price of a property, it can keep it the same, and it can raise it. In this case, there was a sale of the property on October 2023 at $725,000. The best evidence of fair market value for a property is the actual sale of that property. It's assessed far lower than that. I do not know what, if any, evidence Adam is going to bring, but it is pretty hard to.
You don't have any.
Hard to refute the sale price of the property. And that would be his burden. I mean. All right, so Therese, again, set an inspection date for sometime after next Wednesday.
Cool.
All right. Last but not least is Beaver Street.
Janet Blue's house.
Okay. Just when I started to mention, there's a 4-family dwelling located at 13 Beaver Street. It has 0.33 acres. And the current assessment is $266,360. I provided that I found 2 comparables in the same neighborhood, 2 multifamilies. I couldn't find any 4-family properties that sold, but I found 2 3-family properties that sold. And I included those, one at East Main Street and one on Shafter Street. And they're both at transactions related to Mr. Grinold. He was formerly the owner of 40 East Main Street, and he sold the property at 26 Shafter Street for $237,000. Let's see.
500.
Yeah, $237,500. So that's the best evidence I can find to support the value that I have on it.
Okay.
We have nothing.
Any questions from the Board of Civil Authority? All right. And I just note in both these cases, we are provided with no evidence by the appellant.
Seems strange.
All right, so Therese, again, can you reach out to Adam and schedule an inspection for after Wednesday?
John, quick question.
Yes.
So there were 4 properties that Adam had the last time, and we just talked about 2. And the other 2 are now going to be on the 13th?
Yes, because the reason was, I did not anticipate that people would not show up for their hearings today. And it would have been a very lengthy evening.
Right,
if
exactly,
we
okay.
included all 4 properties tonight.
Okay, so Adam knew that. So I mean,
Yes, he
I guess
did.
the question is, why is he not here?
No, Teresa explained to him what we were doing and
So he's not, I just wondered if he's going to come in and say, no, I thought they were all going to be on the 13th.
He was given the option of moving them all to the 13th if he wanted to, because we had such a full schedule tonight. John came up with the idea of splitting 2 and 2. I presented that to Adam. Adam responded. He was fine with that. Explained he might have a delay next week in getting here until 6:30, but
Okay, I just assumed he would probably.
otherwise he was expected here.
Okay.
okay,
Okay, that's it.
that's
for-
it.
For
We're
Wednesday.
here.
Do we have inspection reports?
Okay, so we're doing the other 2 next week, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Okay, good. Thanks.
Thank you very much for your time tonight.
Thanks, Russ.
Thanks.
Thank
Ryan.
you. Good night.
I did want to ask the board a quick question. Who was responsible for telling Charlie to bring dessert?
Oh,
I had brought it earlier, but then it stole my seat, so.
There you go. Touche.
When, is she gonna reach out and ask them what days, or is she gonna suggest, I mean, after next week, after the Wednesday, after the 13th meeting, maybe we could suggest Gernald on the 14th and get rid of him? I mean, I'm just saying, maybe we should say, could you do it on the 14th? Rather than,
We gave him a continuance.
no, I meant for the.
By the rules, I don't even have to do that.
Oh,
That's the board, up to the board, whether they want to, we could just hard schedule everything and people have to go by that. We try to work with people in terms of scheduling and be flexible. That's why we've had some people move to different dates from the original ones, but that's as much as you really
I was just thinking in
Can
the sense
do.
of trying to get stuff by the 20th,
And-
maybe we should say,
And just for Charlie's edification, Adam understood why we continued the hearing till today, because we could not read his testimony. He knew he had to send it to Therese. That was discussed in the hearing. The fact that he did not bother to do that,
Yeah. Complicates
it
things.
complicates things.
Can I ask a general question? When are we trying to get done?
By the 20th.
Okay, that'll be our
mean,
last meet.
That'll be our last meeting. Obviously, we'll have some opinions that need to be written.
Right,
You have nothing as far as a hearing schedule on the 20th. You should be finishing next week.
okay,
So then it's then up to you in terms of completing your inspections. If we need to do a later date to read reports into the
right.
record, you can do that, because depending on how much more you have to write, reading the inspection into the record triggers 15 days to provide a decision. So,
Yeah.
yes,
Thank
sir.
Just quickly, I want to commend Therese. Last time we had a meeting, the next day, I think, or maybe even that night, I received a list of every place I was supposed to be.
Right, it's
And I
awesome.
can't thank you enough.
You're welcome.
You've been doing a great job keeping and John's been doing a great job keeping us organized. I just want to thank you all for all your efforts.
So Charlie's the only one that blew, he forgot the dessert.
That's not all he forgot. So he's gonna learn how to write all the decisions. New guy. You're writing in Spanish, it's okay.
So we have at least 2 inspection reports to read.
I think you have more than that
Okay.
available. I mean, you've got some fairly recent ones.
Well, we have more than 2. I know that.
And Schreiberg, you pushed out
Yes.
from last week, so
Oh, yeah.
I am holding Bossert, I'm holding Stewart, I have Bliss,
Yep.
and I have Schreiberg.
Okay.
And there, I have a copy, hard copies. What do you want? They're also in the Dropbox.
Are there people here to do the reading, or are you looking for volunteers?
I wrote all these inspection
Okay,
reports.
you want
You're
someone
welcome
else?
to read them all.
List?
So they're gonna be wordy.
No.
I'll get it from the Dropbox. Thank you. Let me pick up your. All right. I got it.
Okay, well, this is fine.
We can start with Bossert.
Okay.
So the inspection was made on October 1st. Nope, that is wrong. Let me edit that. Change that.
October 1st.
Nope, it was made on October 29th, 2024 at 1 p.m. Huh?
Bossert.
Bossert. A tenant was present and Meredith Musick, the trustee, participated via FaceTime. That was a first.
Yeah.
No one from the assessor's office chose to attend. The property is located at 41 Bossert Road. There's a single-family home, a cabin, shed, and detached garage on the property. The house has a slate roof, 4 chimneys, and clapboard siding. We first entered the basement through a rear wood bulkhead. The foundation is a field stone base with a concrete and stone section that appears to have been added at a later date. The floor of the basement is a combination of large, flat field stones and dirt. There is a sump pump. The basement is unfinished. We entered the house from the center rear entrance into one of 2 kitchens. That entrance has a small wood vestibule. The kitchen has wood floors and stone countertops. There was an old sink. The walls were wood, stone, and painted. There was a small pantry off the kitchen near the entrance. To the right of the kitchen is a dining room with wood floors and walls with wallpaper. There's a bedroom off the dining room with wallpaper and a fireplace. There's an attached bathroom with a tub and painted walls. The main entrance is next to the dining room. It has a wood floor. On the other side of the main entrance is a small living room. It has wallpaper, wood floors, and a fireplace. Off the living room is another bedroom with wood floors and wallpaper on the walls. It has an attached full bathroom. Next to this bathroom is a small room that contains a new washer and dryer. Left of the kitchen that we first entered is another kitchen with wood floor and stone countertops. It has a wood stove. There is another entranceway into the kitchen with wood floors. Next to this kitchen is another dining room and living room. Both have wood floors. There's a half bath near the entrance. Next to the living and dining room is another bedroom with a wood floor and painted walls. There is another bathroom near the bedroom with an old tub. Next to the bedroom is a newer sunroom with large windows in 3 walls and a newer wood floor. You head upstairs from this area of the house via wood stairs that lead to a loft area and a small bedroom. Both the loft and bedroom have wood floors and painted walls. Near the main entrance, there is another set of wood stairs that lead to the 2nd floor. There is a small sitting area at the top of the stairs. There are 4 bedrooms in this part of the house with wood floors and wallpaper. There is also a full bathroom with a wood floor and a tub. There are also stairs that lead to a trap door to the attic. Immediately behind the house is a small wood shed with an asphalt roof. Next to the shed is a cabin with a large and unique stone chimney. The cabin has an asphalt shed roof. There is a small covered wood porch that one crosses to enter the cabin. On entering the cabin, you enter into a living room and kitchen area. The floors are wood and the walls are painted. The cabin is heated by a wood stove with a blower. Other heating is currently not functional. There is a small office off the kitchen with carpeted floors and painted walls. Next to the living room is a bathroom with a shower and new wood floor. From the living room, one takes wood stairs to the second floor. The second floor has a large walk-in closet and a hallway around the stairs. There are 2 bedrooms, one with a built-in bench and skylights. The ceiling is post and beam. The walls of both bedrooms are painted and the floors are carpeted. Next to the cabin is a detached garage with painted concrete walls and an asphalt roof. The garage is currently used for storage. There does not appear to be any heat. The highest and best use of this property is residential.
Thank you, John.
Yep. Next. Let's do Bliss next. Sure.
You guys, so we heard the cases, go through the inspections. Yep.
Yep.
And then when do you?
After the inspection, you do your we deliver,
Talk,
after we read all the inspection reports, then we stop recording and go into deliberations. So Bliss. The inspection was made on November 4th, 2024 at 1 p.m. Margaret and David Bliss, the owners, were present. The assessor was not present. The property consists of a 7.81 acres and a cabin that can be accessed from Haskell Hill Road via an old logging road from the driveway of 149 Haskell Hill Road. The trail winds around the right side of a man-made pond. The cabin sits on a rise overlooking the pond. The cabin is made of logs with a metal gable roof. It sits on concrete footings. There is no foundation. Entrance to the cabin is by way of a rough stone steps and a small covered front porch. The cabin consists of a single room with a small loft that appears to be used for storage. The cabin is not insulated and it is heated by a small wood stove. There is no electricity, water heater, or plumbing. Lighting is provided by propane lamps. Small propane tanks sit outside the cabin. There appears to be no septic system or public utilities on the property. Behind the cabin on the left is an outhouse. The outhouse is made of wood with a metal roof. The highest and best use of the property is residential.
Is that your first inspection of an outhouse? Probably.
Okay. Next. Stewart, yeah. The inspection was made on October 1st, 2024 at 1 p.m. Keith Stewart and his spouse were present. No one from the assessor's office chose to attend. The property is located at 15 Old Mill Road. There is a single-family home and detached garage on the property. The house has an asphalt roof and gray clapboard siding. A 3-level deck with access from a set of stairs on the left side of the driveway and from the house provides beautiful views of Lake Whitingham. The main entrance to the house is from the driveway. To the left of the entrance is an attached 2-car garage. The garage has a slab foundation. The front entrance has a stone floor. On the left of the entrance is a laundry room with painted walls. Directly ahead is the living room. It has a cathedral ceiling, wood floors, and a large stone fireplace. After the living room, there is a sunroom with tile floor. The sunroom has amazing views of Lake Whitingham. Left of the living room is a dining area with a door that leads to the deck. There is a hot tub. It's a hot tub. A tub on the lowest level of the deck. Next to the dining area is an open concept kitchen. The kitchen has painted walls. There's a half bath next to the kitchen. It has a tile floor and painted walls. To the right of the entrance is the master bedroom with attached full bathroom and separate sauna. There are views of the lake from the bedroom. The second and third bedrooms on this floor have wood floors and painted walls. There also is a bathroom with a shower and tile floor. The stairs to the second floor are carpeted. The first bedroom has carpeted roof, floors, and painted walls. The second bedroom is also carpeted with painted walls and a gable that provides a view of the lake. There's an attached bath with a tub, tile floors, and painted walls. Following the carpeted hallway leads to another master bedroom. The master bedroom is carpeted with painted walls. There's an attached bath with a shower. The walkout basement, which is reached from near the kitchen, has a concrete floor and is unfinished. It has 2 oil tanks and utilities. Access from outside is underneath the lake-facing decks. A separate garage has 3 bays with an unfinished attic. It has an asphalt roof with gray painted clapboard siding. The highest and best use of this property is residential.
I've seen carpeted walls before.
Sorry about that.
So, we
Cafeteria
did
at the high
have
school.
additional information from Russ on this one.
We did.
And this is a time when you can still introduce it.
All right.
And that was your neighborhood question, because the appellant had the question about why they became Old Mill Lane versus originally they were Boyd Hill Road. So there's a 15 Old Mill Lane neighborhood location sheet in Dropbox.
Is it part of the Stewart file or?
It should be, I think. It was a while ago that I dropped it in there, so.
Nope, that's not. Where is it, Charlie?
The first file right in the Stewart.
Oh, okay.
So this suggests that Old Mill Lane and Scout Road comprise neighborhood 18 based on sales values and location. And the section of Boyd Hill Road that Old Mill Lane is off of is in neighborhood 13.
Okay.
So then he has a chart there of values.
Yep.
Based on those 2 neighborhoods.
Okay. So the neighborhood values change dramatically.
Yes.
Which way?
Well, Boyd Hill Road would be lesser valued
Yep.
neighborhood than
Doesn't have
Old
lake
Mill
views.
Lane or Scout
Thank you.
Road. It's not Scout Road. What is it? Scout?
Drive.
Scott Road.
That's one part of
Is it a road?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought it was a drive. Scout Drive?
You
It
got
just
nothing.
doesn't sound right to me.
Can't.
All right. One more, right?
Fanny Hill, right,
Oh, Schreiber, yeah.
right.
My favorite property. Let's do. Where'd it go? Oh, thanks. The inspection was made on October 29th, 2024 at 1 p.m. Ronald Schreiber, one of the owners, also was present. Entrance to the premises was through a door on the first floor that leads into a small mudroom. The mudroom floor was stone tile and the walls were beadboard with storage cubbies for outdoor clothing. The mudroom appears to be renovated. Exiting the mudroom, one enters an open concept kitchen, dining and living area. The kitchen appears to be renovated with a new granite topped island and stone tile floor. Cabinets appear to be cherry and updated. The stainless steel appliances are of average quality. The dining area is immediately beyond the island. It has a wood floor and wainscoting on the walls. A large sliding glass door in the dining area leads to the back porch. The living room area has a large built-in daybed, wine refrigerator, wood floors, and a stone fireplace. There is a door off the living area that provides access to a wood storage area that can also be accessed by a door that leads to the porch. The first floor bedrooms are off a narrow hallway on the other side of the kitchen. The first bedroom off the kitchen is very small and without a closet. The floor is carpeted and the walls are painted. The second bedroom is also small, but has a closet. The floor is carpeted and the walls are painted. The first floor bathroom is opposite the 2 first floor bedrooms. It has a tub, toilet, and sink. The floor is wood. This bathroom appears to have been renovated. Wood stairs lead from the living room area to the second floor. The stairs come out in a large family room. The floors are all wood. The walls are painted with wood wainscoting. Connected to the family room is a bathroom with a zinc sink, toilet, and stone tile floors. This bathroom looks renovated. A master bedroom and connecting bathroom are also on the second floor. The bedroom has wood floors. The master bathroom contains a toilet, shower, sink with Formica countertops. The floor of the master bathroom is tile. Wood stairs also lead from the living area to the basement. The utility closet containing the furnace is on the bottom of these stairs. The furnace appears to be relatively new. The first basement bedroom has 2 bunk beds and a place to hang clothes. The floor is wood. There are windows that lead to the back of the house under the rear porch. The second basement bedroom contains bunk beds, no closet, and a wood floor. There are windows that lead to the back of the house under the rear porch. The third basement bedroom has no closet, a wood floor. At the end of the basement hallway are an apartment-sized washer and dryer. Opposite the basement bedrooms is a small bathroom with a toilet and shower. Room count: above grade, 7 total rooms, 3 bedrooms, 2.1 bathrooms. Below grade, 3 total rooms, 3 bedrooms, 1 bathroom. Exiting the house from the first floor leads to a covered wood deck that wraps around 3 sides of the house. The rear deck offers views of a small brook. There is a hot tub on the rear deck. This part of the deck is roofed. An external stairway leads down to the ground from the rear deck. There is a small opening on the outside rear of the house that leads to a crawl space under the house. The roof of the house is asphalt and exterior walls are finished in composite clapboard and wood batten siding. The foundation is poured concrete and concrete blocks. There is no garage. However, there is a separate shed that can store 4 to 5 snowmobiles. This shed has 1 small bay. It does not appear to be heated or insulated. The highest and best use of this property is residential.
All right, are you ready for deliberations? I will stop the recording.
Did you guys read Bliss already, or?
Yeah,
Yep.
Okay, sorry.
it was short.
Yep.
And sweet.
Well, there wasn't much to look at, to be honest.
I wasn't gone that long.
Yes, right.